All right, guys, welcome back to the Tutor Learning Center. This is JD Tutor, and I'm here to teach you some more Algebra 2 Springboard, and we're looking at graphing to find solutions. So we're going to look at lesson 2-1, graphing two variable equations. So learning targets: write equations in two variables to represent relationships between quantities, and graph equations on coordinate axis with labels and scales. All right, let's look at the scenario. Roy recently won a trivia contest. The prize was a 5-day trip to New York City, including a round-trip airplane ticket. Notice that is underlined. All right, and $3,000 in cash. The money will pay the cost of a hotel room, meals, entertainment, and incidentals. To prepare for his trip, Roy gathered his information. Number one, a hotel room in New York costs around $310 per night, and the trip includes staying 5 nights. Number two, a taxi between New York City and LaGuardia Airport will cost $45 each way. All right, let's start looking into number one. Roy must set aside the cash required to pay for his hotel room and for taxi service to and from the airport. Once he has done this, Roy can begin to make plans to enjoy the city with his remaining prize funds. Number one, how much money will Roy have to spend on performances, meals, and other expenses that might arise after paying for his hotel and taxis? Show your work. All right, guys, so here we have a hotel he's spending 5 nights in. Okay, so 310, that comes from the cost of $310 per night. All right, times 5 nights, see underlined here, 5 nights. So that will give us $1,550. All right, so his taxi round trip, 45, if you see here, $45 the cost each way. All right, 45 times 2, because it's each way, which will give us 90. So if we add $1,550, the cost of the nights per stay, and 90, the cost of the taxis each way. So 1,550 plus 90 equals 1,640. All right. So now we're going to take that $3,000 in cash up here, and we're going to subtract it from the 1,640 to give us 1,360. Roy has $1,360 left to spend on shows, meals, and so forth. All right, guys, during his trip to New York, Roy wants to spend only his winnings from the contest. He wants to focus on 2 of his favorite pastimes: attending theater or musical performances and dining in restaurants. After surfing the web, Roy determines the following facts. Number one, on an average, a ticket for a performance in New York City costs $100. He will spend on average $40 per meal. So keep those in mind, guys, as we flip to the next page. All right. Number 2, Roy wants to know how the purchase of each ticket affects his available money. Fill in the table below, plot the points on the grid. All right, so we're starting with the $1,360 to spend. All right, so look at the chart on the tickets on the left. So it's going up 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, then 10, and then 13. All right, so what we're doing is we're saying 360 minus 1 times 100 is 1260. So because remember, guys, he wants to spend $100, right? And $40 on the meal. So we're going to do 13 minus the 1 times the 100 to give us the 1260. All right. Then we're going to start back at the top, 1360 minus the 2 times the 100 to give us 1160. And start back at the top, 1360 all the way down. We'll go all the way down while we're doing all of this, guys. The same method. And we're going to do 1360 minus 8 equals 560, and we're going to go all the way to 13. So we're going to do 1360 minus 13 times 100 will give you that 60. So don't forget that Roy still has to eat. All right. He still has to eat $40 per meal. All right, so let's graph it. As you can see, guys, we are graphing, it's going to be a linear line graph all the way up to about 1360 up here. All right. Okay, so write all this down, guys. Guys, you don't have to do all of these numbers right here. Just copy the numbers here just so I'll know you get it. And if you don't get it, let me know, homeschoolers, and I'll help you with it. All right. And also dot this graph for me on your paper. All right, guys. So number 3, what patterns do you notice? The table and plotted points show a linear pattern. The amount of money Roy has available decreases by $100 for each ticket he purchases. Number 4, write these down, guys. Write these down. All right, write down the answers. So explain how you determine the values for 8, 10, and 13 tickets. Multiply 100 times the number of tickets and subtract from 1360 as we did in this graph, just like this on the side. All right. Number 5, write a function m times t that represents the amount of money that Roy has left after purchasing the tickets. All right, so let T be the number of tickets Roy purchased. Let M times T equal the amount of dollars Roy has left after purchasing T tickets. So M times T equals 1360 minus 100T. So write all of this down, homeschoolers, on number 5. So 3, actually 2, 3, 4, and 5, write every single thing down here. Pause the video if you have to. All right, use mathematical terminology to explain what -100 and 1360 each represent in your function in item 5. We know that -100 is the slope and 1360 is the y-intercept. Let's go back up here and look and see if that is true. All right. So, all right, guys. Now, see, I don't like the way they wrote this backwards here, right? See, this is not in slope-intercept form, right? So we would say y equals mx plus or minus b, right? So really we would say y equals, I don't have my pencil on this one, but it would be mt then -100t plus 1360. That's the way I would like to see that. Okay. So 1360 y-intercept -100 is the slope. Why not the t? We don't involve the t because your m for slope is going to be here at the 100. This t is any other number that could fill in there as a substitute. Okay, we put that variable there because we don't know what t is, right? So let's go to number 6. Let's go to number 7. Roy wonders how his meal costs will affect his spending money. Write a function dm that represents the amount of money Roy has left after purchasing m number of meals. So let m equal the number of meals. Let dm equal the amount of dollars Roy has left after purchasing M meals. All right, D times M equals 1360 minus 40M. So what I would like to see is D times M equals negative 40M plus 1360. All right, so let's look at this. All right, so Y is the 1360, y-intercept, and 40 is your slope. All right, so guys, let's look at 1360. Let's find out, so number of meals, we're looking at about 5 days a week. All right, so we're looking at 1360. I'm sorry, it's right here. I'm sorry, they skipped down. So they did, hold on, guys, let me get my bearings. Yeah, I'm sorry, they skipped down, guys. So down to number 5. So 13 minus the 5 times that 40 right here on your slope. So equals 1160 right here in our grid. All right, sorry about that, guys. So guys, homeschoolers, you don't have to do the whole thing, but just write this graph down right here, and give me the example they did on level 5 right there. Okay, and write this at the top, for right underneath the problem of number 7A. All right, so also take and graph this. You can fill in all the rest of the number of graphs. All right, what is the x intercept? Set D times M to 0 and solve. So you can solve this by setting the dm to 0. All right, getting that 1360 over here and having that negative 40m by itself and dividing by that negative 40 on both sides. Cancel out that 40 and get m to 34. M equals 34. The x-intercept is 34 meals. Sorry, guys, I don't have a pen to write with on this app. So, but hopefully you remember from previous lessons and also from your Algebra 1, how to do this. So write all this down, guys, and draw the graph and write all this down here. Number 8, what kind of function is dm? As you can see, it is a straight line and all the dots are on that straight line. It is a linear function. Number 9, guys. What is the rate of change for dm including units? Negative $40 per meal. Negative $40 per meal. Actually, guys, most of this is pretty easy. You know, it's kind of a no-brainer. So number 10, make sense of problems. Are all the values for m on your graph valid in this situation? Given that m represents the number of meals that Roy can buy, explain. All right, so no, the contextual domain is restricted to positive integers less than 35 because the number of meals will be a positive number and the amount of money cannot be negative. The domain will be integers because partial meals cannot be purchased. All right, guys, write all of that down, homeschoolers. Write all of this down under number 10. All right. All right, let's go to number 11. Check your understanding. All right, what do the x and y intercepts of your graph in item 7 represent? The y-intercept, 1360, represents the amount of dollars Roy will have if he buys no meals. The x-intercept, 34, represents the greatest number of meals Roy can buy with $1,360. All right, write all that down for number 11, guys. All right, number 12. If you know the coordinates, excuse me, guys, I'm getting over some sinus stuff this week. All right, if you know the coordinates of 2 points on the graph of a linear function, how can you determine the function's rate of change? Number 12, over here on the left, find rate of change using slope formula. So we're looking at y over x. So triangle y over x, triangle x equals the change in y over the change in x. All right, number 13. What is the relationship between the rate of change of a linear function and the slope of its graph? Number 13, over here on the left, the rate of change for a linear function is the same as the slope. So write all of this down, guys, 11, 12, 13, and number 14. Using your answers to item 12 and 13, explain how to write the equation of a line when you are given the coordinates of 2 points on the line. All right, let's see what we have. All right, write all this down too, guys. Using the coordinates of the 2 points, find the slope of the line. Then use slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, or point slope form, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right, and one of the 2 points to find out the y-intercept. All right, guys. I've got some practice lessons. I think I've got these practice lessons on another video that's coming up. Oh, I will have them. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for your lesson 2-1 practice problems and activity problems. Thank you.